It was now summertime on the island of Sodor. Now, aside from people visiting the island of Sodor for vacation and tourism, the season can also be really, really hot. So it's important to stay hydrated, let alone staying cool. Whether it be drinking a beverage or having some ice cream, you can also take a trip to one of the most common places of relaxation. That being the beach. Sun in the sky, sand on your feet, and if you feel hot, you could take a dip in the ocean. And also listen to those squawking beach pigeons. Something what Her Majesty Monarch likes to call seagulls. But anyways, our story begins with Bear when he returned to Knapford Station after dropping off passengers from Knapford Beach.
Phew, it's a scorcher. What's the temperature like, driver?
Well, let's see, Holy smokes, it's 91! Ooh, Nelly. That sure is a hot one, I tell you what. Good thing us locomotives could swing by the water towers and drink up. I don't know about you, Diesels. Maybe you could take a dip into the water.
What? I can't do that.
Only pulling your wheels there, Grizzly. No way you would find a locomotive with an IQ to jump into some body of water.
Well, unless you're Percy. Once he braved flood wars back in 1956. He became boastful about the following year until he took the plunge. Then he got 2 more water accidents in 2007 and 2016.
Percy, huh? Isn't he Thomas's friend? Well, on the subject of Thomas, I heard him telling me about an engine who took a dip into the water with the Kipper back in 98.
What?
And furthermore, decades ago, he burrowed himself from some rain. Now I say you ought to watch your tongue, otherwise people will think you're a hypocrite. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to pick up some workmen at Tidmouth Harbor.
That time I sheltered myself in the Balaloo Tunnel. Goodness, don't you there? Plus, didn't you receive an apology from Percy after that box van incident? Indeed, you're right. Percy has proved to gain a little more maturity, so I shouldn't have thrown off his accidents in the first place. But on the subject of rain, my driver checked the weather app. We're gonna have some rain this evening.
And Henry was right. The rain pelted down along the western side of the island. But Hank wasn't bothered by the rain one bit. Just try to wash me off the rails, rain. You ain't stopping this behemoth. But the rain had other ideas. It started pelting down on the cliffside and began loosening some rocks and earth. A couple rocks fell, then a few, then several, then dozen. Sure enough, under 12 seconds, the line was blocked by a landslide. At the harbor, Hank and his coaches were turned around and ready to pick up the workmen from one of the busiest ports on Sodor. All the coaches were loaded with workmen, the guard blew his whistle, and Hank departed from the harbor. As he coasted out of the harbor and along the beach line, he noticed up ahead the landslide blocking the tracks. Whoa!
What's that ahead? Driver, hit the brakes!
Hank's brakes were slammed on, but it was too late.
Bail out!
He rammed into the rocks and skidded through the sand, and his cowcatcher touched the lapping waters. Luckily, no one was hurt. Hank's crew had jumped clear before the derailment, and Hank's coaches stayed on the rails after he cleared a path for them.
You okay?
I'm fine. My buds hurt a little, though. I think the sand will be like a pillow. Hope Hank's okay.
Never expected to have company.
What? Who said that?
Over here. What's up?
Oh, nothing much, stranger. I was just pulling a passenger train, and next thing you know, a landslide barricaded my line and skidded me onto here. So how about you? What's your name?
My name's Bolstrode, and I've been stuck here in the children's play area since '88.
88? Hot dang, that's like 36 years you've been stranded on this beach. Life must have been pretty dull.
Sure was. But then again, there was some eye-opening moments, like some huge box van nearly crashing into me earlier this year, and a hurricane blowing over back in 2005.
Sir Topham had heard about Hank's derailment and sent Humphrey to take his train. I'm sleeping in after this. Sir Topham had surveyed the scene and devised a plan to rescue Hank.
Don't worry, Hank. We'll think of a way to get you out of there.
But all of that was easier said than done. During the high tide and low tide, Hank's wheels had sank into the sand. But first things first, the rubble was cleared off of the line. Next, a section of track was closed on the Little Western, and some temporary tracks were built in order for the breakdown train to reach Hank's tender. After Hank's tender was salvaged, they made their way to Hank, and they built a barricade around Hank to keep the water from entering and to dig him out of the sand. During the rescue operation, Bulstrode and Hank engaged a conversation.
So this reboot has me in it, and I'm not stuck on the beach?
As for the story of Hank's little seaside trip, it was spread out all the way to Vickerstown.
Henry, you should check the paper. Well, look what the shore washed up. Well, jokes aside, this will be a good opportunity to apologize to Hank.
Leave your motor rail here, Henry, and give it to Connor. Sir Topham Hatt has an assignment for you. And he did. He wanted Henry and Gordon to pull Hank out of the sand. They even got Gordon's little winch ready to tow him out of the sand. And they need to be quick. The barricade was starting to disintegrate from the sea salt.
Looks like they're ready to pull you back on the tracks. I'm actually sad to see you go, but it was nice talking to you. Sorry, I never caught your name.
Oh, where were my manners? My name's Hank. And I'll miss you too. I had a good time with you. Hopefully I'll see you again. Maybe out in the vast briny blue one day. You deserve a second chance.
Yes, we'll see. With any kind of luck. A petition, perhaps.
Alright, lads. Ropes tightened. And heave! Gordon and Henry hauled with all their might, pulling Hank out of the sand and onto the ramp and back on dry rails. They have done it. And a celebration was uproared. Hank was glad to be back on the rails again. Even Henry was glad. While he hauled Hank to the steamworks, he thought it'd be a good time for an apology.
So, Hank, I know you're probably upset with me being a hypocrite, but I want to say I'm sorry for using Percy as a bad example. He hasn't proved to be mature by owning up to an accident with an American box fan.
Oh yeah, Bulstro did tell me about that incident. But to be fair, I kinda deserved being stranded on that beach for scolding at you. I'm sorry too. I hope you can forgive me. I must say, karma sure has a funny way of getting around the island, I tell ya what.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I forgive you. Friends?
Sure thing, partner.
Good.
And with that, the Pennsylvania Railroad K4 and LMS Stanier made amends.
The sun is shining, it's a lovely day. It won't be long before we're on our way. The guard is waiting, flag in hand. He blows his whistle, we're off to sea and sand.
The sky is blue, there's not a cloud in sight. So much excitement, didn't sleep all night. Now Percy's rushing through the countryside, with people waving as we whistle by. Seaside, we're off to the seaside. Ice cream and cones, candy floss on your nose. Seaside, we're off to the seaside. We're gonna have a lovely day. Just one more hill to climb and we'll be there. Sounds of the seaside start to fill the air. Then someone shouts out excitedly,
Look, over there, everybody, I can see the sea.
Seaside, we're off to the seaside. Buckets and spades, all the fairground arcades. Seaside, we're off to the seaside. We're gonna have a lovely day.
And when it's cold in winter time, still you can be there anytime. Just close your eyes, count
1, 2, 3.
dream your dream, and once again be by the sea.
Sir Topham Hatt arrives to greet the train. He is so pleased that Percy's right on time. So much excitement, so much glee. We're all together with Percy by the sea. Seaside, we're all at the seaside. Building sandcastles with buckets and spades. Seaside, we're all at the seaside. Oh, what a lovely, lovely day. Seaside, we're all at the seaside. Picnics and paddling and swimming all day. Seaside, we're all at the seaside. Oh, what a lovely, lovely day. Thank you, Percy, for such a lovely day. Cowabunga! Seven months. 7 long months of this vast briny blue journey. But at long last, Thomas made landfall in Japan. He was brought to Shimizu port, and he examined his surroundings, eager to see his friend.
At long last, I'm finally here. Japan! Now to fulfill my promise.
And sure enough, he heard big puffing noises, followed by a whistle he hadn't heard in a while.
Is that Hero?
Thomas! You're here!
Hero! I missed you so very much!
And I've missed you so very much too. It has been so long.
Too long. You have no idea what we've been through back home. From the pandemic, to a reboot, a kidnapping, even a shortage of coal.
Well, I am so glad you could make it. Though the bamboo forest is dense, water flows through it without effort. I would love to show you around, but first, I'd like you to meet Sir Takabashi Hideki. Konnichiwa, okigen desu ka?
Konnichiwa, sir. What was the rest?
He said, how are you today?
Oh, well, in that case, I'm doing just well, thank you. Hero was just going to show me around, if that's alright.
Hiro and Sir Takabashi talked over, and the controller delightfully agreed.
Fantastic! Come on, Thomas. Let us go sightseeing.
Thomas and Hiro left the port and viewed the Japanese countryside. They first explored some wonderful-looking plants, from irises to cherry blossoms.
Wow. Cherry blossoms seem to be a common tree in Asia. I saw them in India and China, but they're still pretty to look at.
Next, they explored some temples and shrines.
My word, shrines are such an amazing structure.
And finally, they puffed around the city. One of them had an actual working giant robot.
Incredible! That's twice the size of the robot from the technology fair a few years back.
Look at that, Thomas. Isn't Japan wonderful?
Of all the countries I've visited, this is by far the best one yet.
Just then, Thomas looked up and saw another familiar friend.
Kenji! Konnichiwa!
Thomas? Konnichiwa! It's so good to see you again after 4 long years. How are you liking Japan so far?
It's great! We saw some really cool landmarks.
Later on, Thomas and Hiro arrived at the Shin Osaka station. Thomas marveled at the terminal when he heard a pompous voice next to him.
Excuse me, you pair of steam-powered transports. Do you mind? The weather is supposed to be clear skies, so no humidity from your steam, if you please.
E10, shouldn't you be at work? You've got wheels. Why not you just roll away from the steamies if you hate them so much?
With a snort, E10 departed from the station.
Yatsa Z. I'm really sorry you had to deal with it.
Who even was that agent?
That was just E10. He is not fond of steam locomotion.
He's a modern technologies type of guy from the computers to the maglev trains.
Maglev trains? Is that how you say it?
Maglev trains are trains driven with electronics rails rather than the normal rails. The maglev repel against each other and help the train move.
So, they're high-speed trains that can float in the air. How bizarre.
Come along now, Thomas. We better continue the rest of the way to the Kyoto Railway Museum.
Great to my work trip. Have fun there, Thomas and Hiro-san.
So Thomas and Hiro proceeded to Kyoto, where they finally made it to the Railway Museum. Numerous engines, as well as Hiro's friends, were there too.
Konnichiwa, Hiro. Oh, and who do we have here?
Konnichiwa. My name is Thomas.
Greetings, Thomas-san. Welcome to the Kyoto Railway Museum. We are honored to have you here in Japan.
How exciting! Last time I've been in a museum was in 1990. I saw plenty of engines there.
Well, you won't be disappointed. We got plenty more of us. There's Hachiroku, Doobs, Kitson, B20, 9633. Yushanetone! Let our guest see the other engines for himself. Yes. I apologize. On with the tour!
So Thomas and Hiro explored around the Railway Museum, and even got a chance to sit in the roundhouse and have some people marvel at their sights. And as a bonus, both Thomas and Hiro spent the night at the Kyoto Railway Museum. And next morning, they had to wake up early for a delivery from the port.
Good morning, Thomas. There is an assignment for us today. We must make a delivery to the Shuzenji Romney Railway, a miniature gauge railway.
A miniature gauge railway. Like the Arlesdale back home. I can't wait to see that.
Sayonara, Thomas-san.
Sayonara?
It means goodbye in Japanese.
Oh, well, sayonara to you too. Thanks for showing me around the museum.
After their whistles and goodbyes, Thomas and Hiro made their way back to the Shimizu port. The cargo has been imported from Yakushima Island. As expected, the cargo was small, but Thomas didn't mind. Both he and Hiro made their way to the Shuzenji Romney Railway. When Thomas was pulling into it, he was amazed to see that the railway actually had some British theming on it. Even a couple of miniature British engines were working there, with one being Northern Rock II. Thomas pulled into the station where the men unloaded the cargo, and there was a tiny little green diesel.
Konnichiwa. Thank you for delivering me. My name is Mori. I will be a new addition to the railway. I used to work on the forest line on an island before its closure. So I will now reside here, with the exception of the line being extended deep into the forest.
Thomas was excited for Mori, and he couldn't wait to see the passengers being pulled into the platform. Thomas and Hiro waited and waited, but no engine came.
Where is E10? He should have been here by now.
Maybe something's gone wrong.
Thomas and Hiro decided to rush over to the Shin Osaka station to see what happened. They soon found the problem. All of the trains were delayed because of an error on the computer screen, showing, as the people nickname it, the blue screen of death.
The computers are down! We can't see the timetables!
Waza! How are we supposed to know when to arrive at some of our destinations?
Luckily, a couple passengers had already snapped photos of the timetable before the error. The controller written down the timetable and scheduled all the engines he could to make up for lost time.
It's time to show them what real engines can do.
Thomas rallied up Kenji as well. He was going to need his speed and assistance as well to make up for the delays.
We don't have a second to spare. Let's get rolling.
The computer error had lasted for a few days, so Thomas, Hiro, and Kenji were hard at work rolling backwards and forwards along the Tokaido Shinkansen line.
I still claim to be the master of the railway!
Sure enough, this weekend, the computers were back online. Thomas was glad to have helped out his mutual friends.
Maybe I've misjudged you, outdated machines.
Really? Oh, why, thank you, E10.
And all of the electric diesels hummed their electricity and pantographs to their new friend.
Another job well done, Thomas. Come, I've got a surprise for you.
As Thomas and Hiro rolled down the line, it wasn't long until a sweet smell had rose in the air.
Something smells good. It's like herbs.
It must be the tea fields. We are getting close.
They finally arrived at the Oigawa shunting yards to rally up some coaches, when Thomas saw a shocking sight.
Huh? Percy? A twin of Hiro? Rusty's standard gauge and Toby's a diesel? What is going on?
Oh, it's okay, Thomas. They are just engines dressed up as your friends. And it is not standard gauge, but rather Cape gauge. Welcome to the Oigawa Railway. It is where they do the Day Out with Thomas events.
Japan does Day Out with Thomas events too? Well, bust my buffers! We're way more popular than I thought.
So for the next few hours, Thomas and Hiro rallied up passengers and dropped them off at the Oigawa Railway to spend time with their duplicate replicas. But slowly, Thomas started to feel a little sad. Upon seeing Percy's replica, he remembered of how furious he was with Boxy's incident, and how the last thing he and Percy did was argue. He didn't even give Percy a proper goodbye. Thomas felt ashamed. So, that evening, when it was dark and the railway closed, Thomas started practicing his apology to the Percy dummy.
Thomas? What are you doing up so late?
Nothing, Hiro.
Thomas, you sound troubled. Did the sights of the dressed friends make you feel homesick?
No, it's just... Before I left Sodor, Percy and I got into a heated argument about my souvenir. That being an American box van. I called it Boxy. Percy may have taken it without permission, but it was my fault for not lecturing him about the loading gauges of global rolling stock. I didn't even get to say goodbye to him. So, I'm just practicing my apology with this replica before I return.
Oh, I see.
The worst part is, I'm his best friend. I know he's done okay without me when I'm away. I even sent him letters, but this is different.
Well, Percy's not alone on the island at least. He is among many, many friends back home. So I believe he is doing okay. And perhaps when you write him a letter, you can add your apology.
That's a good idea, Hero. I'll do it first thing tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan. But for now, we deserve a well-earned rest.
Hey, Percy, guess what?
Humphrey, it's like almost 6 in the morning.
You're right! Sir Robert Normanby has invited us to go on a trip to York.
To York? Whatever for?
Yes, to the National Railway Museum. You, me, and Duck. Isn't that right, Duck? Great. Come on, Percy, ignite that fire. We gotta get rolling.
Must it be this early?
Percy, just go with them. You can sleep on the flatbed during your trip.
So with that, Percy reluctantly ignited his fire and puffed on over to the flatbed to get loaded up.
Alright, bring him up. And there you go.
Once Percy was loaded, Duck put the breakdown train back to the Harwick branch and fetched a coach for Sir Robert and some other passengers. Good morning, Sir Robert. I hope we're not too late.
Not to worry, Humphrey. You're right on time. I even brought a few members for the Topham family, too. Bertram and Sally Hurd, the children of Sir Richard, and Sir Rowan, the brother of Sir Stephen.
A brother?
Yes, Sir Ski. Sir Loam's the name. Jokes and entertainment at your service. My brother told me all about you.
Oh, has he? Well, pleasure to meet you. Hop on board to the York Express.
Lovely joking.
Is everybody ready?
All set.
All set!
Okay, everyone. It's go time.
It's alright. I went before we left.
We better take a rest at Manchester and then continue to York tomorrow. It's a 2-hour ride from there. So that's what the engines did. They found an engine shed next to the airport at Manchester, while their passengers booked a hotel to stay for the night. Well, the first several morning trains. Time to go. Alright, so this must be York. Excuse me. May one of you direct us to the museum? Oh, right. Not everyone here is sentient. That building over there looks promising. Maybe I could ask someone there. Excuse me. Excuse me.
What? Huh? What?
Yes, hello. Apologies for interrupting your nap. Is this by chance York?
Oh, yes. Where'd you come from?
The island of Sodor.
Sodor. Well, that's a surprise. We haven't had anyone from Sodor since 1990.
We?
A staff at the National Railway Museum.
This is the National Railway Museum?
The one and only.
Oh, aces! We made it! Oh, thank you so much, sir! Everyone! We're here! The passengers and the Topham family were most delighted. They booked in their tickets and they entered the museum, while Percy arrived at the York yard to get unloaded from the flatbed, and the other engines entered in the locomotive entry of the museum.
Does he know that half of these engines are series of Sodor? This shouldn't be new to him.
Just let him have fun, Duck. Being in a railway museum is at least new to him. And for us, too.
So this is the National Railway Museum, eh? I can get used to this.
Smashing! Now you all have to stay together, and I'm gonna go snap some photos and have myself a good time.
The engines were having the time of their lives. There he is! In all his glory! The engine, the myth, the legend, Mallard! The fastest steam locomotive in the world, clocking 126 miles per hour on July 3rd, 1938.
Quite so, my boy. And did you know that there were plans made to try and make me go faster? Unfortunately, fate had other ideas, especially involving World War II. But that's all right, because of my streamlined appearance was used in the P2 classes 2003 to 2006, even the rebuild of Gressley's Class W1. Hush, hush.
How innovative!
Indeed. But sometimes I think my speed is a curse. Did you know that before the Flying Scotsman was chosen to take a trip to Australia, I happened to be a candidate to go there instead?
Wait, you plan to go to Australia too? So how come you haven't gone to the land down under?
Bad timing. I was scheduled to sail to Australia in 1988, but my trip was cancelled in December a year prior. Mainly because 1988 marked my 50th anniversary of hitting that speed record. So I had to stay. Such a shame. I was really looking forward to meeting Pendennis Castle there, who was on the continent at the time from 77 to 2000.
Pendennis Castle?
Oh, I knew him once. He's a great Western class hall.
My word! If I had a nickel for every time a Great Western engine did something before Scotsman did, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Well, my life may have been a tad turbulent, but all in all, I've lived a good life on the rails. 2013 was especially memorable, reuniting with my other 6 siblings. Spencer, Union of South Africa, Sir Nigel, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Britain. Oh, how I've missed them.
That must have been your best highlights in railway life. Well, thank you for sharing some knowledge with us, Mallard.
Excuse me, sir. Are you the owner of this locomotive?
No, but me nephew is. I'm sure he won't mind. What's on your mind?
We're going to have a couple engines on the demonstration line, and we were wondering if this Panya tank engine would volunteer.
Ooh, what a marvelous idea!
The demonstration line?
Outside of the museum were 3 sets of track: narrow gauge, standard gauge, and broad gauge. This is what's known as the demonstration line. Percy was most impressed seeing both the standard and narrow gauge engines rolling on it, and he was most excited to see Duck being the next standard gauge engine to run the line.
Shouldn't have skipped me coffee. If only we had some of those little cups of grounded beans.
Meanwhile, inside, Humphrey communicated with another well-known engine at the museum. Oh my gosh! Evening Star! The last 9F ever built! Let alone the last steam engine built by British Railways.
Precisely. Built in 1960 and ran services until 65. I sure stood out of all of my other siblings, painted in a bronze green rather than goods engine black. Aside from my banking and goods run, I also got the opportunity to hold passenger express runs too. Well, at least for a short time. Many were concerned about my running gear being ravaged from high speeds, and topping it off, I was marked for preservation here on the day I was built.
Golly whiz. That must have been one heck of a finale for steam services on the main line.
Quite so, lad. A grand final hurrah for steam.
Well, at least we have a good epilogue for this book of steam locomotion. And a nice start to a new chapter. We still have some steam engines running, and even some new ones currently being built, too. Like we just had Beachy Head, and including, from what I heard, next year, a new
Humphrey, let's go! There's a demonstration line event happening.
Oh, cool! Sorry, ma'am. I guess I'm needed elsewhere. It was an honor to meet you, Evening Star.
Enchanted as always, especially with guests like you.
Percy and Humphrey exited the museum to watch Duck on the demonstration line. But to their horror, they saw Duck being loaded on the broad gauge track, due to the driver feeling so fatigued.
Alright, just turn on the winch.
Is this just me, or is this track broken too wide?
Oh no! Duck's going to get rolled onto the wrong track!
Hey! Stop! Percy and Humphrey whistled loud and long to get the lorry driver's attention, but it was too late. Duck was lowered onto the broad gauge track. The sleepers cracked and splintered wood flew about until Duck tumbled to a halt. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Oops. Oh boy.
So this is broad gauge Thomas told me about.
Goodness, I guess you could say he wasn't on the right track.
Sir, please.
What, too soon?
Duck was towed back onto the lorry and taken to the workshop next to the museum.
Is this engine okay? Oh, he's okay. His boiler ticket expired.
While Duck's chassis was getting repaired, Percy took over for Duck on the demonstration line. Everyone was amazed. Impressive. The engine spent the night at the museum, and then the next day, it was time to go home.
Well, Sir Robert, that was a lovely juggly trip. Thank you for bringing us with you. I bet you had lots of fun. I saw you snapping numerous photos.
Indeed I have, Sir Loam. Not just for memory, but I'm using it for a reference of a project I've been assigned for too long.
Is that so? What kind of project?
Oh, I wish I could tell you, but I mustn't spoil the surprise. For now, let's all head it home.
Farewell, engines of soda, and tell Murdoch I said hello.
Godspeed, lads. Have a safe journey back.
You mates take care. Tell Thomas we say hi.
Goodbye. Nice to see all of you.
And with the blow of the whistle, the cavalcade left the museum and stopped at Barrow-in-Furness for a rest, while the Topham family and Sir Robert took an Uber over the Jubilee Bridge and made their way back to Sodor. Look at that, lad. It's the morning milk making its way to Sodor. We better make our way back to Sodor, too. And they did just that. Titmouth and Arlesburg is probably one of the most beautiful places on the island of Sodor. Sunny days, blue waters, salty air, and finally, you may get a chance to see Dexter. Now, for those who don't know, Dexter was a red, old, abandoned branch line brake coach that was eventually discovered by Duck back in 2018. Although he was in no condition to work on the railway, he was reused as a classroom when a portion of the Harwick School got destroyed.
Hello there, Dexter.
Hello, Duck.
Is anything okay?
Well, summertime's here, and obviously no children ever come to school and no teachers come in either. Don't get me wrong, the sea view is beautiful, but it's not fun alone. It's the same every summer.
Oh, dear Alice, there's something I can do. Too hot.
On the Arlesdale Railway, the miniature engines were wondering what that construction noise was at the end of their line when Mr. Clark came up. Hello, sir.
I demand a raise.
Mike, what engines? We don't get paid.
Oh well, my driver demands a raise.
No, I don't.
Now at this point, you're all curious on what the commotion is at Arlesdale. Well, now it's time I told you. We're going to have a new campground.
Oh, sir, a new campground? How exciting! Don't you think, Mike?
Well, it does sound cool, but I don't know if today's kids would truly enjoy the outdoors.
Fair point, Mike. I mean, most children are stuck on their phones in Fortnite games, but who knows? Maybe it will be a success. And it has to be. The Sodor Construction Company were working hard to make it one of the coolest campsites ever.
There we go. What is paper?
Oh, nicely done, Buster. And you too, Byron. Pound it.
Perfect. The landscaping is done. Now comes the fun part. We need to bring the coaches on over here.
Wait, coaches! What are coaches going to do here? Yeah, I thought this is a campground, not a shunting yard.
Oh, you'll see, Jack.
Okay, Nathan, you're up.
Back on Duck's branch line, Duck continued his usual work, but at the same time, he pondered on how he could make Dexter's summer special, but still had a blank mind. Good afternoon, Duck. Is everything all right? Duck explained Dexter's situation when Ryan pulled up, pulling an unusual train. On his flatbeds, there were some coaches without their chassis.
Good day, Great Westerners. Why so glum, chums?
Hello, Ryan. What are you doing with those coaches?
Oh, those are the camping coaches for the new campgrounds.
Campgrounds? Oh, I get it. Like camping coaches.
Right, Donal?
Aye, there be some camping coaches in England and Scotland. So what's this about a coach being bored?
Those 2 words gave Duck a brilliant idea.
That's it.
He raced back to Harwick to find Miss Jenny. Was it something we said?
Miss Jenny, a word please.
Duck asked Miss Jenny if it was okay for Dexter to be a part of the camping coaches at the Harwick campgrounds for a little while. And surprisingly, she agreed and got right to work on delivering Dexter to the campsite.
Huh?
You'll never be bored in the summer again, Dexter. This is Duck's treat.
Have fun, Dexter.
And Duck left Harwick feeling very pleased with himself. Dexter arrived at the campsite feeling very surprised. He'd never seen so many people in one gathering before, and other coaches as well.
Wow!
They had a special reserved spot for him.
As the lead park ranger, I hereby declare the Harwick campgrounds officially open.
Hard a day's work. Phew! I feel tuckered out. I wish we could stay here tonight and go back tomorrow.
Oh, that's a great idea, Alfie. Miss Jenny, can we stay at the campground tonight? Please!
Well, okay. I don't see any trouble.
Hooray!
Yes! Now that is quite generous of Miss Jenny.
Never been to a campground before.
Neither have I, Buster. Oh, you'll love it. We can sit by a campfire and eat warm s'mores.
It's actually pronounced s'mores, Kelly.
Right. Sorry.
That evening, Dexter gleamed with delight under the moonlight, living the dream.
Lots of people are really coming in. Thank you for helping us.
Our pleasure, sir. It's what we live for.
I'm glad Miss Jenny and I agreed to make this happen. When I heard that the Ravenglis and Estelle Railway were doing the same before us, I figured we'd try it out too.
Anyone up for a story? How about the one-eyed Lorry?
Not again!
Well, if that story wasn't scary enough, I've got one that'll make your skeleton shiver.
And everyone listened to the park ranger's scary story about the mask of Dark Earth. And when the story was done, everyone's windows and wheels were shaking with fear. That was actually a really good scary story. Almost sounds too real.
So if you hear a shrieking noise, you better take cover.
Right. But I think we should all get some rest. We all gotta go back tomorrow. Good night. Everyone went to sleep eventually. Although Dexter, on the other hand, took a look around a little longer before going to sleep. The background looked very eerie at night, and most of the trees looked like hands ready to grasp on him. But the only settling thing was the calming sound of the gale, blowing ever so silently. Eventually, Dexter went to sleep. Until...
Ah! What was that?
What kind of creature made that noise?
Did you guys hear that? It sounded like the Mask of Dark Earth!
Surely it's just a story. There's no such thing as a Mask of Dark Earth.
It's okay. We'll see what it is. You just stay inside.
I think I see something down there.
The park ranger got ready to shine his flashlight on the source of the sound, and there was a seal in distress. He was stuck, wedged between two logs. Quickly, the park ranger got to work and set the seal free. With delight, the marine mammal swam away, quick as a flash.
Don't we have a story for our campers?
And it'll be based on a true story.
The following day came, and the Sodor Construction Company crew all went home. But Dexter stayed for the rest of the month, until August came around, and it was time for him to head back to become a classroom again. People were sad, but understood.
Don't worry, guys, I'll visit again next year. Cheerio!
Welcome back, Dexter. So how's your trip been?
So Dexter told his pannier tank engine friend all about his camping trip. Sonny is a well tank engine who lives and works on the island of Sodor. Although originally owned by a crook duo, it wasn't until 2020 where Sonny was convinced to be a really useful engine. So after going through redemption and trust gaining, Sonny is now a permanent resident of the railway. He works as a station pilot at the North Knapford Harbor, although on occasions he does take goods. One day, Ryan was taken to the steamworks. His axles on his trailing wheels is getting worn out and is in need of new one. Sir Topham Hatt needed a replacement until Ryan was repaired.
Sonny, just the engine I wanted to see. Now Ryan's at the work, so I need you to take the goods on the Harwick branch line. You think you can do it?
Of course, Gov.
There's a good engine.
So while Sonny was away, Percy took over his shunting duties. When Sonny arrived, he was greeted by Daisy and was shown across the Harwick branch line. She showed him Arlesburg West, Arlesburg Harbor, Arlesburg Town, the Arlesburg Goods Yard, Callis Cavern, Harwick Cutting, the Harwick Hill, and finally Harwick at the end of the line. During his break, Sonny met up with Daisy again. She was viewing the wonderful beachside.
Look at this, Ryan. The sky just as blue as the sea. The crashing of the waves. Isn't it wonderful?
Never seen anything like this back at Knapford Harbor.
Sonny must admit that the branch line was wonderful. Come the following day, Sonny was just taking a train to the end of the line when he heard an unfamiliar voice.
Excuse me?
Hello? We need some help back to Arlesburg Harbor. My boat ran underground. Oh, hold tight, sir. I'll fetch help.
Sonny got some workmen and hauled the boat onto the flatbed.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I don't believe we've met before.
Where are my manners? I'm Sonny.
Nice to meet you. I'm Skiff.
At the Arlesburg Harbor, Sonny was cooling his boiler when he saw the boat again.
Hello again.
Hello again. Whoa! You can travel by rail?
Yes, I can travel by sea and rail. Pretty cool, huh?
That's amazing. I bet you have lots of fun on the rail sometimes.
Well, not always. I was once owned by a treasure-crazed ex-Navy member, Sailor John.
We hunted for a treasure chest until 2015. It was fun at first, but then John took drastic measures to get his hands on it. In the end, Sailor John was arrested and passed away from skin cancer in 2017.
Well, you're not the only one. I was formerly owned by the criminal. I was taken in here by two, Baz and Bernie. Our plans was to steal inventions and to sell it for money. But then I was then conquered to be a real useful engine from Thomas.
Well, I guess that makes two of us.
Sure enough, Sonny and Skiff became great friends.
So how exactly you entered the water?
Just watch me.
Skiff and Sonny were having a great time with each other. Just then, Winston rolled up.
Hello, Sonny. I see you've met Skiff.
Hello, Governor. Who are the kids?
Yes, these are my kids, Bertram and Sally. Anyway, we just came by to see how you're doing.
Things are wonderful here.
Sir Topham, Bertram, and Sally made their way to an abandoned area along the Harwick branch line.
What are these tracks doing here?
This was the original route, but then there was a cavern collapse, so we decided to go around.
As they crossed to the other side, it happened. The ground started to give way. Nothing but the rails hung between them and Winston now.
It's okay. We can just walk along the tracks.
No, it's too dangerous.
Oh dear, honk, 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 honk.
Is something playing a joke?
Help! Anyone help!
Wait, I don't have a voice. Governor! Kids!
No, Sonny, the rails won't support your weight.
Don't worry, Governor. Help is on the way.
Sonny raced off as fast as his wheels would carry him. He was going to find someone light enough to save the Topham family.
Skiff! Skiff! There's an emergency at Collins Common.
Emergency? We need to get Julian's around there.
No, it's too risky. Just follow me.
The scene was observed, and everyone knows what needs to be done.
Looks like there no other choice. Skiff will have to cross to save the family.
And wobbly wheel by wobbly wheel, Skiff and Captain Joe slowly made their way across.
Oh, do please be careful. I can't look.
At last, Skiff made it to the other side, and the Topham family clambered aboard, just when the wind picked up and blew them to the other side back. Just in time, before the rails finally snapped and fell into the caverns below. Everyone was badly shaken.
Phew! That could have been us.
Is everyone okay?
Much better now. Thank you.
Phew! Well done, Skiff.
Yes, well done indeed.
That night, Sonny and Skiff were praising each other, how they were heroes to each other, when Sir Topham Hatt came up with Winston.
There you are. Now then, Ryan is all fixed up and is due to return tomorrow, so you'll be able to go back to the Nafford Harbour tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But that's a shame.
I know. We've only just met today.
Well, you can be pen pals.
Pen pals?
You know, your crews can write to each other.
Great idea!
I was going to say, engines can't hold pens.
So in the end, Sonny returned to Knapford Harbor, and Ryan, with the new axle on his trailing wheels, returned to the Harwick branch line. Daisy was happy to see Ryan again, but missed Sonny as well. Even Skiff did. But when the day's work is done, Skiff and Sonny promised to themselves that they would write letters to each other.
I knew it was coming.